Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chelsea Groton Bank's Facebook video. My name is Miria Gray. I'm the Community Education Officer here at Chelsea Groton Bank. And today we're going to be talking about the 10 don'ts of credit. We talked yesterday about the 10 do's of credit. So if you didn't catch that, you should definitely go check it out. But today we're going to be talking about the 10 don'ts of credit. So the first one is don't feel pressured to get a new credit card. When you go to a store, oftentimes when you're checking out, they'll ask you if you're going to be putting it on your card today. If you say you don't have one, they're going to ask you if you'd like one. And they oftentimes give you some 20% off or whatever it might be. So don't feel pressured to do that. 20% off if you don't pay that off at the end of the month. You could be getting 18% interest rate. So would you really have done it for 2% off? I'm not sure about that. So those are the types of things to think over. Don't pay late. If you pay late, then you're going to be in trouble because they're going to definitely charge you a late payment fee. And more than likely, if you're 30 days late or more, they are going to be reporting you to the credit reporting agency. So you don't want fees and reports. So if you're going to pay late and you're going to get assessed the fee, make sure you pay less than 30 days late so that you don't get reported. But you also have to be careful because paying late might mean that your interest rate will change. So be sure before you do things like that, that you are really looking at what their policies are. My number 3 is don't let YOLO get in the way of your budget. Oftentimes people say, well, you only live once, so I'm going to do this. Well, you only live once, so I'm going to do this. If it's taking a day off of work and going to the beach, that's one thing. If it's paying thousands of dollars for a vacation that you really don't have the money for, that is a different story because taking the day off and going to the beach, especially if you're getting paid for that day, isn't really going to cost you anything. If you are paying thousands of dollars for a vacation that you don't have the money to pay back, you are going to be paying for that for the rest of your life. So while you only live once, you do have to live the entire time that you are alive. So you don't want to pay for mistakes that you have made, especially financial ones. Don't just apply for any credit. All credit is different. Each credit agency has different rules and regulations. So it's really important to understand what those are so that you can make the best decisions for you about the types of credit that you want to be taking on. Don't carry a large balance. When you carry a large balance, that affects your credit score. Using your available credit is great, but then you need to have a way to get that paid down again so that it is not affecting your credit score. The longer that you carry a large balance, the more your credit is going to be affected. So it's really important that you have a plan to get that paid down if you are going to use it. Don't skip a payment. That absolutely affects your credit score because now they've told the credit reporting agency that you don't always pay on time. And every other lender is going to see that you don't always pay on time, and they may choose not to lend you money. Don't close old accounts without thinking it through. So old accounts may be balancing out your credit to debt ratio, which I talked a little bit more about in the other video. So I'm not really going to go into that, but you should definitely be careful about closing old accounts. Don't just pay the minimum. If you're just paying the minimum every month, then you are never going to get that card paid down. The minimum balance is basically just covering your interest charges on that credit. So pay, even if it's $10 more than the minimum amount, you're going to see the balance dropping much faster because you're not just paying on the interest, you're paying on the principal balance. Don't open multiple cards at once. I had somebody come to class once that told me that they were going to go on a shopping spree at the outlets. So they had applied for credit cards at all the stores. Don't do that. Because when you're applying for multiple credit cards all at once, maybe they don't all hit your credit report at once. Other credit companies may not understand that you might have other dollars that have been extended to you. Maybe you'll end up getting more money extended to you than you can afford to pay back, and you'll get yourself into some really hard problems. And don't share your credit card information. And while it seems like this is something that maybe doesn't need to be said, people do it all the time and we don't really think about it. So we give it to our kids. We send it in a text message to somebody that we're buying a product from. We give it out over the phone. Sharing that information, unless you are sure of the security of sharing that information, like on a secured server website from a company that you're buying a product from, you have to be really careful. You have no idea who is seeing those stored text messages. You have no idea who is going to have access to that money that is on your credit. So be careful about sharing that credit card information, okay? So that is my 10 don'ts of credit, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.